that could cause problems. I
Let's get started. Good morning, Sunnyside. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020, and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our Sunnyside Middle School student community. Welcome to our staff. Welcome to friends, family, special guests. Welcome to the folks that are watching us on our YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for being here. Today, we are supporting and in solidarity with our 5 speakers, Phoebe, Livy, Evie, Henry, and Elliot. I am so excited to hear all of their speeches. I'm excited for all of you to hear their speeches. And we'll do a mic and video check in just a second. But I want to talk to the 180, 190 of you who aren't outwardly speaking today. It gets up to be 200, 210, 215. These numbers are incredible. Michael, Amy, and I reference these numbers every day. But we want you to know that you are more than just a number to us. Everett, Faith, as you are joining this community, we see your names. Finley, it's amazing. It's incredible. So just know that you are not just a number. We see you. We appreciate you. We love you. And while Phoebe, Livy, Evie, Henry, and Elliot are outwardly showing us, their courage by speaking their truth today, you all are doing the same. You all have the same courage and strength by simply showing up and being here. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be loud to show your strength and solidarity and courage. So thank you. We see you. We love you. We appreciate you. And let's turn it over to our wonderful, incredible 5 student speakers today. We've got Phoebe Dukas, Livy Stills, Evie Grimm, Henry Nuss, and Elliot Pierce. Phoebe Dukas, where are ya?
Hi.
There you are. Hey. Phoebe, how's it going?
Fine.
Awesome. Good to see you. Hey, Phoebe, what has been a snack that you've been enjoying during the quarantine?
Bread. Toast.
Anything on that bread?
Butter. Just butter.
And butter. I love it. Awesome. Thank you, Phoebe. We'll hear from you in just a smidge. Livy Stills, where are you, Livy?
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. How about you, Livy? Snack you've been enjoying during the quarantine?
Probably chocolate chip cookies because I've been baking.
Oh,
unhealthy habit, but good.
Yeah. Awesome. Have you perfected your recipe?
Yes, actually.
Nice. Making my mouth drool a little bit. Awesome. Thank you, Livy. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
Evie Grimm, come on up.
Hello.
Hi, Evie. How are you?
Good.
Evie, tell us about a snack you've been enjoying over the quarantine.
A lot of popcorn.
Do you have any toppings, or do you just go straight butter and salt? What's your jam?
There's a seasoning stuff that we buy, and we have like 5 different kinds of it. And so
Yeah.
I have variety of every type of popcorn.
That sounds so good. Sounds great. Thank you, Evie. We'll see you in a little bit. Hey, Henry.
Hi.
Hey, Henry, how are you?
Good.
Hanging in there?
Yep.
Yes. Awesome. Henry, what's a snack you've been enjoying during this quarantine?
Probably goldfish.
Goldfish. It's a popular choice.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Henry. We'll see you in a little bit. And finally, Elliot Pierce, where are you?
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
We're good. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Elliot, what's a snack you've been enjoying over this quarantine?
I've been having a lot of smoothies.
Smoothies. Green, orange, red.
Like purple, pink.
I dig it. All right. Thank you, Elliot. We'll see you in just a little bit. All right, let's get it started. Phoebe, Dukas, the floor is yours.
I am a control freak. Always have been, probably always will be. I don't like group work, I don't like slow things, and I hate change. I don't like not being in control. Whenever my family is watching TV, I always make sure I have the remote. If my mom takes it away and tries to use it, I get all squirmy and have to resist the urge to ask for it over and over. I want my life to be perfect. I have a basic outline of how I want it to go. I've now realized that my life isn't perfect, and that eventually I will have to accept change. The first change was moving to Sunnyside. I came to SES in first grade, so I missed out on all the bonds that everybody had made the year before. In preschool, I knew everybody, and everybody knew me, and having to make friends was new. I didn't get along with my first and second grade teacher. Sorry. In second grade, we did self-portraits with sunsets in the background, and I put green in my sunset. Apparently green isn't in the sunset because I was told I would have to redo the portrait. I didn't redo it, but I took the feedback really hard as a 7-year-old who was really proud of her work. My mom loves that picture, and so do I. It's hanging in our basement. After 2 years at Sunnyside, I got used to everything and was ready for third grade. A change, but one that I was excited for after seeing the third grade musical and hearing about all the great things that happened in third grade. But it was in third grade that a big change happened. The tectonic plates of my life shifted, causing an earthquake. I started washing my hands, compulsively. I couldn't stop. My hands were dry and cracking, and if I wasn't allowed to wash my hands, I would get fidgety and uncomfortable. I couldn't deal with messes. From there, it only got harder. I started having panic attacks. I would run up to my parents' bedroom, screaming and rolling on the floor, my mind falling into a dark spiral of one recurring subject: death. How was I supposed to control the other things in my life if I couldn't even control my own body? I started going to a therapist and was diagnosed with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I was so upset that I had to go, that I couldn't control it, that it wasn't my choice. As many people know, I love to sleep in, so it really didn't help that it was 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings. I hated the fact that I had to talk to someone and that my parents didn't seem to understand. Every time that I would run upstairs for reassurance and a hug, I only remember concerned faces, scowls, and hearing short lectures. I felt like they didn't understand that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't control it. When I was in therapy, I received tools, things that could help me relax. One of them is clenching up one body part at a time, holding it, then releasing. Another was to write things down that made you uncomfortable and how you can try to solve them. The most recommended tool that I received was mindfulness. The therapist recommended an app with calming exercises to do when stressed or before bed. I loathed it. I don't have anything but bad memories to go along with mindfulness. That is one of the reasons I've never participated in mindfulness minute at morning meeting and have been cold to any mindful activity at school. I eventually stopped washing my hands, and the panic attacks decreased both in size and occurrence. The earth was calm, but the plates were shifted. I finished elementary and got used to new changes. I got used to middle school and all the changes that brought. I got used to overnights, the new workload, and playing for a new basketball team. And for a while, I thought my life was perfect again, until another earthquake. Like most people, I hate throwing up. But over the last few years, that hate has turned into a fear. The 8th grade retreat really solidified that. The weekend after the retreat, my basketball team was going to Seaside for a tournament. In the middle of the night, I started to feel sick. I was super hot and I couldn't sleep. I spent the night in the common room of the cabin with one of the chaperones, barely getting any sleep. I felt like crap the next day, and by the time the closing circle was happening, I thought I was going to hurl. I sat outside trying to cool down and calm down. I was panicked and stressed and upset that I might have to miss my upcoming weekend and that I might vomit. Those thoughts circled my mind, messing up my breathing, making my breaths short and shallow. That caused me to panic more, falling deeper and deeper into a spiral of anxiety. After getting home and some debate, I decided that I would be okay to go to Seaside, because if I was going to throw up, I would have done it by then. The first morning there, I didn't feel awesome, but I went to the game to see how I would feel when we got there. I got so scared that I was going to throw up on the court that I stayed up in the bleachers next to a trash can. That happened for all of Saturday, and my coach wouldn't play me Sunday morning. I played a total of 2.5 minutes all weekend. Sports is one of the most important things to me, and when my anxiety started to interfere with them, my parents made the decision that therapy would be a good idea again. This time, I didn't fight it, and I got to pick my own therapist, something that made me feel in control. I realize now that all of this cannot have been easy for my moms. They had a third grader who'd refuse to talk to someone and who'd refuse to use the tool she got. Now they have a 13-year-old kid who is still struggling with the same anxiety and the frustration around it that she had when she was 8. The one thing I felt through all of this was anger. I was and am still angry that I have anxiety. I was angry because I felt alone and out of control. I felt like I had no choice over big decisions. I'm angry because my life isn't perfect, and I don't think it'll ever be. So much of my life was and is revolved around anger. The good anger and the bad. The anger that drives me to do something better or fight what I believe in. And the anger that causes me to scream profanities at people and get in trouble. Sunnyside has taught me to speak my truth and write about it. My truth is that I have anxiety. I don't like that has to be my truth, but it is. The thing I have to remember is that anxiety is just part of my life. My therapist says that anxiety doesn't go away, you just learn to manage it. That you have to focus on the gray area. Anxiety isn't good or bad, black or white, it's in a gray area. And that getting sick is just a part of life. I'm at the point where I can't fully manage it. I'm sorry to my friends for being so last minute or not coming at all. I'm still at the point where I'm a little scared that I might throw up just walking to the park, but I'm working on it. Just like I'm working on accepting one of the biggest changes in my life so far. Saying goodbye to Sunnyside will be one of the hardest things I've done. People say that they are done with the school or that they don't like it. And sure, I've had my struggles with it, but I've gone here for over half my life and I don't know how I'm going to let go. I'm excited for high school, but there's that part of me that will never accept the fact that by early June, I will no longer be a Sunnyside student. I won't get to see my friends in lower grades every day. On the first day of school, I won't get my picture taken by the sign out front, and I'm afraid that when I'm older, I won't remember my memories here. Like forest camp, the 3rd grade musical, dissecting owl pellets, getting stuck in a baby swing, being the big buddy for the first time, boating and ziplining at Camp Arnold, seeing whales on the coast, the polar plunge, steal the chicken and backboard dodgeball, giving the speech, and saying goodbye. I can't listen to Don't Stop Believing without crying. Even if everything that is happening right now breaks up my idealistic worlds, I have things to look forward to. High school, college, and the rest of my life. I have to learn to be okay not being in control and learn to work in groups. I can focus on the good things instead of jumping to the worst case scenario, like how this pandemic made me have a fantastic last day at the SES campus because I didn't know I wasn't coming back. I got to spend a fun day with all of my friends expecting a short vacation, whereas if we had an official last day, I would be sobbing my eyes out all day. I have to know that I can learn to manage my anxiety, even though it may never fully go away, and that there are people out there who truly love and care about me and will help me through whatever is going on in my life. So to quote Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes, now I've had the time of my life. No, I've never felt this way before. Yes, I swear, it's the truth, and I owe it all to you.
Deep breath, Livy. You did it. Woo! Phoebe! Oh my goodness. Phoebe, you did it. Phoebe, you will always have, Sunnyside will always, you'll always be a part of Sunnyside. Always, always, always. You will always be in our hearts, Phoebe Dukas. Thank you for your speech. Livy Stills, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Beauty can be a hard thing to see, especially since it's in everything. From the beauty I find in my white Air Force Ones to the beauty in the messy fluff ball I wear on top of my head every day. It's woven into the champion sweatpants I'm wearing right now as I write this speech, and it's also been captured into the sweatshirt that I steal from my mom when I'm too lazy to do my laundry. It's in the blood that flows through my veins and in the foam that I spend endless hours on. It's everywhere we look. Yet still, only 4% of women consider themselves beautiful. and 54% agree that they are their own worst beauty critics. Why is this? Why are we like this? Why do we have to hate ourselves to not be cocky? And I say we because, well, I'm awful to myself. I spend endless nights feeling sorry and hating myself for things I can't change. So many of my tears have been wasted on the questions I ask myself, like, why aren't you skinnier? Why can't you fit into these pants? Why can't you just look like other girls? And mostly, why are you so ugly? These, along with many other unpleasant questions, appear into my brain every time I look into the mirror. Every time I put on a pair of jeans and they don't feel like they used to. These thoughts flooded my mind for an embarrassing amount of time. Competition. Competition has not helped with my body image journey at all. But let it be known that I love competition and I wouldn't change my extreme devotion to it, although it can be a blessing and a curse. In things like basketball and other sports, it's a very helpful attribute because I'm so determined to win and play a good game. But with body image, it's a whole different game, and it can be an immense disaster, sometimes in disguise. It makes it so hard to not constantly be comparing myself with other women because they have a little waist and beautiful curvy hips. It's as if as soon as my mind sees something that is completely unachievable for my body to ever be, I immediately want to be that and change myself. But I shouldn't. I shouldn't want to change myself, but I know that. But it's really, really hard when the media is filled with these unattainable beauty standards. It's impossible to beat those standards, yet still, my competitive side beats it. The standards I hold for myself are beyond unachievable, and when I try to take a step in the right direction to try and fulfill my demand for perfection, the standards skyrocket all over again, creating more and more expectations that are so far out of my reach. I have dug myself a hole, and every time I try to climb, I collapse and the hole gets deeper, and the dirt starts to crumble over me. It will keep covering me until I can't see light. This thick layer of dirt surrounds me. I can no longer see the glistening rays of light that continuously give me hope. I can no longer hear the kind words my family tries to provide for me, and I blind myself to my own beauty. I am under, and I keep going down. Thank goodness I have my family and friends to help dig me out. The people I keep in my loop are beyond comparison. They will dig and dig and dig for me, but they can only help so much. I can be in the hole, lying there, with the option to stand up and get out, but sometimes it feels as if my legs have lost feeling and I'm incapable of just taking the first step of standing up and giving it a try. I'm out now, and as thankful as I am to be out right now, that hole is like quicksand to insecurities, and I will most likely fall back in. But in my life, I have so many strong female figures that have gone down the same path, and they made it out alive. So I believe I will too. I just had to take the first step to stand up. That started with losing the mirror component. I have tried not to look in the mirror because I know I will be disappointed. So when I do look in the mirror, I try to be optimistic and look at the positive. It's not always easy, but there's always a light or flip side to every situation. And I'm trying to find that light even through all of the dirt. This journey is also going to consist of losing the number mindset. I am done determining my self-worth from a number because that number means absolutely nothing. Whether it be on the scale or on the tag of my jeans, it's absurd and worthless. I'm not a number, and neither are you. We are humans. We are in this together. No more tearing people down for being who they are. No more judgment, only love and support. Those are the two things I have gotten from all of my family, blood or not. And to every person that has helped me along my journey, you know who you are, and I thank you. Be you, and don't change it for anyone, because you are your own unique person, and trying to be someone or something you're not is pointless, because you are not them, and they are not you. So stay true to you.
Woo, Livy! Yes. Oh my goodness, Livy Stills. Livy Stills, you have our love and support. Thank you for your courage. Whew. All right, third up today, we have the amazing Evie Grimm. Evie, the floor is yours.
Life is created with bits and parts of events in your existence. It is filled with big, interesting blobs and the small, less noticeable pieces. The events in your life are the things that mold you. But it's not just the big moments that make you, it's the small details that add together to make something even bigger, something you can either boost along your way or pull you right back down. I like to think about people as unique ecosystems. It's up to you to keep your ecosystem balanced. Small remarks or negativity can chip a little dirt off your island, but when there's a consistent flow of negativity, eventually your healthy ecosystem starts to crumble. According to the National Science Foundation, an average person has about 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. Of those, 80% are negative and 95 are repetitive. If we repeat the negative thoughts, we think negative stuff way more than we think positive. These toxic remarks, no matter how small, can stay with a person for a long time. And when the negativities jumble in their mind, it can cause a lot of damage. I've been one of those victims. I was a kid people would spread rumors about, and when that happened, I would cry and cry to a teacher about it. Kids would think of me as weak and thought I was an easy target. Sadly, the people that called me names and made fun of me I considered my friends. I began to think that this is how friendship works. They're good people, right? I thought it was my fault, that I was the one that was making mistakes, and that's why I was bullied. I tried to take the matters in my own hands, to fix the mistakes so my so-called friends would not bully me. I had to fix it. So I stopped crying, even on my worst days. I stopped telling the teacher, even if I knew they would be by my side. I kept all the things that hurt me inside. I thought that if I had any vulnerabilities, I would be bullied again. This took a big piece of my future. Just that small little thing. Even though I don't get picked on, my brain still says if you show any vulnerability, they would think you're weak. If you cry, they would treat you differently. And then one day, I was more sad than ever. My tears couldn't stay any longer, and I started crying. The tears in my eyes bursted out, and I couldn't even see in front of me. One of my friends was there witnessing it all. And all I could think about, though, was that they would think I'm weak, and that I wasn't who she thought I was. Instead, they pat me on the back, which gave me the feeling of knowing I'm strong, and that being vulnerable does not make you weak, and I felt a little stronger than before. That one person, who gave me not even a single word, physically moved me forward and helped me realize that I wasn't alone. Just that small piece helped me in ways my mind would not. Positive actions can't fix negative ones, but it can help you get through the negative trials. So thank you to my teachers who would help me at any cost, even if I felt like I couldn't ask them for help anymore. Thank you for my family, who stayed by my side even in my darkest times. Thank you to my friends who understood the pain and prevailed with me. The words you say really can change someone, even if it's just a small remark. People would rather have a thriving ecosystem than a broken one. So please mind what you say to others, because positivity will help them thrive in the future, and negativity can stay in their mind until the day their ecosystem starts to crumble. Thank you.
Yes, Livy. Woo! Evie Grimm. Yes, that is a testament. You are not even close to weak. That giving us that speech took so much strength and courage. You are strong, Evie Grimm. Thank you so much. Whew. These speeches, y'all. All right. Next up, Henry Nuss, the floor is yours.
When I first got into middle school 3 years ago, I was really nervous because my grade was the youngest and smallest. On the first day of middle school, I went straight to my classroom and went into a circle with people most from my previous classes. In the circle, we've talked really briefly about what would be happening that week and throughout the year, and I felt better about being in that classroom. Then the teacher said, okay, the 7th and 8th graders will be coming into the classroom really soon. And when they walked in, we were just staring at them. I was intimidated because they were much bigger than I was. It was very awkward as they came to sit down because I had no clue what to say or if I should say anything or just stare. I chose stare, which probably wasn't the best decision, but it was kind of hard to think at that moment. In 6th grade, we played this game where we had to go across a part of the field on frisbees. Our team was random, made up of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We put the frisbees on the ground and then took a step onto it and kept repeating it until we got to the end. I remember that my team actually worked effectively together. It was pretty surprising to me because we barely knew each other. I think the founder of SES made it mixed grade classes because it builds the community of our school. I remember in 6th grade, 8th graders at my table helped me with my essential question because I was having a hard time with it, and all I had to do was just ask. In 7th grade, we played these circle games like Killer Bee, and we would line up with mixed grades, and we would get to know each other more because at the start of the year, I didn't really know any of the 8th graders in my class, but later in the year, they became my friends. This is why having mixed classes is good. Now it will be easier for everyone to meet new people in the real world because we did all these things for the community in middle school. Not only do the 6th and 7th graders have positives, but so do the 8th graders. 8th graders could learn to have a leadership role, which could help them later on in life, like getting a job or on some team of some sort. The only negative I could think of while writing this was the 8th graders, because could think they have more power than the other grades. And yes, during my years in middle school, I've definitely heard people trying to do that. But this past year in middle school, I think we've done a pretty good job of not doing that. Since the community at Sunnyside is so welcoming and supportive, later on in life, people that go here might have that mindset for things like meeting new people or a different school they go to. My experience of having mixed classes was valuable because it helped me as a person by getting skills I wouldn't have if I didn't go to SES. I wouldn't have gotten the skill to speak up, to advocate for myself, or to ask for help. This is why I liked having mixed classes in middle school.
Yes, Henry. Woo! Henry, thank you so much. And we are so glad that you're a part of the SES community. Thank you. Henry, well done. All right, Elliot Pierce, wrapping up our speeches for today. Elliot, the floor is yours.
Skateboarding has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I remember being a little kid at the skate park, practicing the same tricks all day, every day. It started out with me going to skate parks with my dad. That led to me finding my own friends to skate with and participating and winning some skate competitions. Skateboarding to me is more than a hobby or a way to hang out with friends. It taught me many valuable life lessons, learning how to take a fall, living in the moment, and freedom. If you want to be a good skateboarder, you have to be able to fall. Because if you never master a trick the first try, it takes a lot of patience and perseverance to try and master a trick because you do it over and over and over again. When I say falling, I don't mean falling off the board. I mean coming home with bruises that cover half your leg or arm, skinned legs and bloody elbows, and so much more. Skating for me is not just about falling. It's about getting back up and on the board and willing to try again. It's what you do after the fall that matters. Do you give up or keep going? In my life, I choose to keep going. Skateboarding has also taught me to live in the present. My focus is to land the trick, not worry about what's next. When I live in the present, I don't fixate or worry about what will happen in the future. It teaches me to live life to the fullest. This has been very helpful during COVID. By being able to stay in the moment and not worry about what the future holds, because I cannot control that. One of the best parts about skating is freedom and creativity it brings me. I have freedom to go anywhere on my board, and I'm not constricted to a court or a field. This is an important mindset skating has given to me. I can take my board anywhere, and when I'm frustrated, I can go skate. Skateboarding allows me to be creative by creating any obstacle and knowing I can skate it. I'm glad I never gave up on skateboarding. After my first fall or 100th, it's been a fun ride. I'm so thankful for everything skateboarding has taught me and done for me. Thank you.
Good job, Elliot. Woo! Elliot Pierce. Yes, excellent, Elliot. Thank you for reminding us to stay in the moment. So important. Thank you. Excellent job. Good job, Elliot. Phoebe, Livy, Evie, Henry, Elliot, Thank you so much for speaking your truth today. Thank you so much for your courage, for telling us, sharing yourselves with us today. For the other 197 of you who are here supporting, we thank you too. Like I said, you don't need to be loud to show your support and solidarity. Simply being here, sitting in community speaks volumes. Thank you so much. So we're going to wrap up with Carrie and Robin. Phoebe, Livy, Evie, Henry, and Elliot, if you would keep your cameras on, please. I'm going to pass it over to Robin.
Hi, everyone. I've got Noah here today.
Yay.
Say hi, middle school. All right. I want to start with Henry. Hold on one sec. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Henry, you share so many pieces of your middle school experience with us. You recount beautiful, detailed moments that have shaped you as a student and as a person. You really demonstrate the importance of community, which we need now more than ever. You then dive into the pros and cons of mixed-age classes, ultimately ending on the note that being in a mixed-age middle school has taught you to, quote, speak up, advocate for yourself, and ask for help. Thanks so much for your thoughtful and honest words, Henry, as well as your amazing experience at Sunnyside. Elliot. Elliot, you share with us your love of skateboarding, and you highlight the lessons. Sorry, one second, everyone. And you highlight the lessons that skateboarding is teaching you. Learning to fall, living in the present, freedom, creativity, and perseverance. Thank you so much for sharing your passion and process with us. Congrats on completing your 8th grade speech. Evie, you gift us the metaphor of humans as tiny ecosystems. You share your personal stories of overcoming fear and bullying. You share your personal stories, but you don't stop there. You then call us to action, to consider deeply what we say and how that impacts those around us. You really hit at the root of intent versus impact. Words do matter, Evie. Silence also matters. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your stunning and your real speech. Your words are so needed at this moment. And I feel full of pride and gratitude for your timely 8th grade speech. Thank you, Elliot, Evie, and Henry. Nice work, y'all.
All right, I think I got it. Yeah, thanks, Alex. I'm going to start with Phoebe. I can't see you, Phoebe, but I'm talking to you. Thank you for sharing your struggles to come to terms with the need to control events and yourself in a world that's constantly changing. You skillfully write, the tectonic plates of my life shifted. I wrote that down when I heard you say it. They causing an earthquake, and I tried to imagine 3rd grade Phoebe in that moment with your words. Your words remind me that we don't know what someone's carries, and that the internal struggles are not often reflected in the way that we all show up. And it is a charge to all of us to always have that in our minds, that what someone is dealing with inside has to always be considered, even if we don't know what it is. Then you write, and again, I wrote it down, the earth was calm, but the places were shifted. And you start to describe good anger and bad anger. And I thought that was skillful in a way that the positive anger can be a force for good, and the negative anger can lead you to trouble sometimes. You make a point that a person's truth can be a source of anxiety for a person. And you share the strategies for learning how to manage the anxiety without judging yourself. You highlight the road ahead, and many of us can learn from your words. And you highlight the belief that you will learn how to manage it, even if it will never fully go away, regardless of what is ahead. And I was left with the knowing that there are people out there who truly love you There truly are. Thank you, Phoebe. Liv, I can't see you either, and I'm talking to you. Thank you, Livy. In the speech, you share that beauty is subjective and that you yourself are able to find it in all types of people and ways and things, except in yourself. You pose a critical question and earnestly ask, why? How can we be like this? Why are we like this? And especially when the statistics that you cite are echoing that inner critic. You share as an athlete, your competitive spirit positively impacts your game, but when you turn that energy on yourself, that it can be suffocating. The relentless questions, the metaphor that you ask, the metaphor of dig and dig and dig are powerful words and skillful writing. The love of your family and friends is captured in that metaphor. You share that you will continue to try to find your way forward, to not be defined by numbers on a scale or the judgment of yourself or others. And I sincerely hope, Liv, that you are able to extend the grace you show so many people to yourself and to be you, Livy. It's an extraordinary thing to be. Thank you, Liv.
Thank you, love.
I'm going to close today with the words of Ibram X. Kendi. He is a writer and author, and that would be an author and a writer would be the same thing, and an activist. These are words he wrote yesterday. History is calling the future from the streets of protest. What choice will we make? What world will we create? What will we be? There are only two choices, racist or anti-racist. Ibram X. Kendi. He's the author of How to Be Anti-Racist. He's the author of Stamped from the Beginning, and he's the author with Jason Reynolds of Stamped, a Remix. Seek out his words and his work if you're interested. Thank you to another incredibly powerful group of speeches. It's just, we're so incredibly fortunate here. And to be in the position to hear your words is truly a gift. Please find your way back to your core classes through the virtual auditorium to the virtual upstairs where your teachers are waiting for you. Thank you so much.